Attention viewers! We of the Cobra Terrorist Cell are taking over this channel over the course of the month to demonstrate our superiority of land, sea, and aircraft. You will not resist us. This I command. Is that understood, Private? Yes, sir. Private Larry understands, sir. Though I don't understand how I passed the exam to get in. Good help is so hard to find these days. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and we are taking part this month in Cobra Convergence 6. So I want to give a big shout out to its organizer, Hooded Cobra Commander 788. Thanks for allowing me to join once again. All this month, in addition to my regular Transformer videos, I'm going to show off some various Lego-built Cobra vehicles. This week will be a singular vehicle. Another week we will cover a pair of water vehicles. Another week we will cover a pair of air vehicles. And to wrap the month off, we will cap it with a special set of land vehicles. One ground vehicle, one artillery piece that was shown off to me as part of a Canadian exclusive. So, while it's not anything super exclusive to get too excited about, it is something nice and interesting to look forward to. Now, our first vehicle up for Cobra is, fittingly enough, the Air Chariot, the personal vehicle of the Cobra Emperor Serpentor. Now, of course, I did not build this vehicle myself, so I can't take full credit for this. I bought the pieces and the plans for this from the website Geewunner. I've got a link to it down in the description, so please do check them out. They do wonderful work by making various G.I. Joe, and they're also now doing Star Wars vehicles that were produced back from the old Kenner line. The little oddball vehicles that weren't seen in the movies, but could possibly have been in. You know, back when us kids were allowed to use our imaginations growing up. Now, this is one of them that I bought the entire thing from. I got the parts and the plans. It's a mixture of Lego and some other company bricks in here, because I know not all of them had the Lego logo on them. But it is done up as a nice representation of Serpentor's Air Chariot. And it will also it can also be something to come in handy for other things, like the recently released G.I. Joe role-playing game, which was recently released here by Renegade Game Studios. There's no rule that says you can't build your own G.I. Joe guys out of the Creo parts that Hasbro did, or even use Lego parts to build yourself a miniature. But if you want to have some vehicular battles, you might want to consider some of these. Since, let's face it, if these little vehicles break in battle, all you have to do is simply reassemble the pieces. Unlike where you're playing with the vintage toys, where if you break it, somebody's going to end up crying. That out of the way here, and let's take more looks at the Air Chariot. Now, while it's not a perfect representation, it is a very good one for its size. And it does have a lot of the features from the Chariot. It's not going to be exact, primarily due to the fact that a lot of the pieces are not built in the specific shape that the Air Chariot came in, so But if that doesn't bother you too badly, this is a pretty good representation. I mean, we used a couple of hinge pieces down here to give it some landing support. Got a couple of circular pieces here in the back to represent the fan that lifts it off the ground. We got a couple of stabilizing fins here in the back, and we got some adjustable wings here in the front. I don't believe they weren't adjustable on the toy, but on this one they are, so you at least get that. You got these sloped pieces here to represent the storage areas, and of course we have a couple of guns on the front. And it does also have the we got a stylized a couple of pieces here to look like the Cobra head that formed the front of the vehicle. And of course we also have a set of handlebars for the driver, which of course we happen to have a Lego version of Serpentor. Yeah, this is not the Creon version that you could get with the Terradrome set. This is an actual Lego custom. Now, I would direct you fans to the site that I bought this guy from, but in the years that have passed since I bought him, the place no longer sells Lego G.I. Joe figures. So that kind of sucks right now that we got, now we got an RPG game to play with them, and now we can't get little Lego dudes for it. Oh well. But at any rate, let's attach Serpentor here onto the chariot. Knock one of the fins off, but hey, that happens. And there we go. That looks pretty good. Even with me not having the officially made Serpentor, this does look pretty good. And if any of you are wondering, so we shake it real good here. Nothing's falling off, so it does hold together pretty good. And it does swoosh rather nicely. Even though right now the core rule book for the G.I. Joe role-playing game doesn't have Serpentor or his Air Chariot, I figure that's probably in a future book that'll be coming down the line. Or if you're a really crafty and an inventive player, you could probably come up with your own custom rules for Serpentor. In fact, there's probably quite a few out there who probably have already done it. Now, as for the vehicle's functionality, that's where a lot of people call it into question. The vehicle is set up to be a command vehicle, and by some accounts it does do a fairly decent job of being a command vehicle. Or at least in the short-range sense, it makes a decent command vehicle. It's not going to make it for long-term, since there's really not much in the way of communications gear on this thing. So in the short range, it does pretty good, because Serpentor can just yell at his troops. Since the thing hovers and flies at a short distance, it can get above and out of range from some of the Joe weaponry, and make it a little harder to hit. Now, of course, Serpentor is pretty exposed on this, but from a front side, he's pretty well covered. And depending on how well and fast he moves the craft will determine whether or not his sides or his backside is exposed long enough for attack. But all in all, it does make for a nice little vehicle. And I'm certain if I bought some clear bricks to attach underneath it, we could probably give the impression that this thing was hovering. Oh well, maybe we'll do that further down the line. At any rate, that's my review of a Lego-built Air Chariot. I hope you all enjoyed it. And remember, if you like the content that we broadcast here on this channel, such as Lego Joe vehicles or regular Transformers, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We do appreciate the feedback here. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.